shines, those pits they're black as hell. In mud and slime they do their time, it's Paddy's prison cell. Though they curse the day they travel far and drown their tears in a jar. So make way for Molly Maguires, they're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. Make way for Molly Maguires, you'll never see the likes of them again. Backs will break and muscles ache, down there there's no time to dream. The fields and farms, a woman's arms just dig that bloody sea. Though they drain their bodies underground, who dare to push them around? So make way for Molly Maguires, they're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. Make way for Molly Maguires, you'll never see the likes of them again. So make way for Molly Maguires, they're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. Make way for Molly Maguires, you'll never see the likes of them again. Good evening, folks. Thank you. Welcome back to episode 13. Last week there was a few people, Dave in particular, looking for Luke Kelly stuff, and delighted to do some Luke stuff. Hope you won't get too banjo sick this evening. Luke, of course, along with being probably one of the best, if not the best, folk singers to come out of Ireland, played banjo as well, a long neck banjo, and that's how I became interested initially. And obviously through Pete Seeger, Tommy Makem and people like that as well. But Luke was my first inspiration and into playing music, and particularly this style of banjo. And I developed my own styles as they went on. I'm not going to concentrate too much on it, it's not a lesson really, but for all the long neck gurus out there, don't let anyone tell you that you're playing your long neck wrong. I listened to Luke, Pete Seeger, Michael Jonathan, all the great long neck players, and just got a message from Michael today actually about Don McLean was a long neck player, of course. So don't let anyone tell you you're playing it wrong. You're not playing it like Luke or whatever, because if you listen carefully to some of Luke's renditions of his songs, the banjo playing can vary from his versions. So why should you be exactly the same as a definitive version? And even the style of playing with your fingers and stuff, Luke played with 3 fingers and a thumb. For the most part, for licks and slow picking, I play with 2 fingers and a thumb, which is more conventional. Luke obviously played that way because that's the way he was taught, so don't let anyone tell you you're playing the banjo wrong. This is Pat Kelleher's style, Luke had his style, and he was a big inspiration. Anyway, that's enough of that. We'll do a nice one for you this time, and it's a warning to young ladies out there. If you think you're marrying an older man, think twice. That's the advice in the song. Nice fun song if you feel like dancing around or singing along. It's called Maids when you're young, never wed an old man. Well, an old man came courting me, hey, in Durham lad. An old man came courting me being young. An old man came courting me, saying, will he marry me, mates, when you're young, never wed an old man. Why? Because he's got no fuller and full diddle liar. He's got no fuller and full diddle aye. He's got no fuller, he's lost his ding Durham. Mates, when you're young, never wed an old man. When we went to church, hey, ding Durham lad. When we went to church, me being young. When we went to church, he left me in the lurch. Mates, when you're young, never wed an old man. You should know that, because he's got no fuller and full diddle liar. He's got no fuller and full diddle aye. He's got no fuller and he's lost his ding Durham. So mates, when you're made enduring that. When we went to sleep, we being young, when we went to sleep, out of there I did creep into the arms of a handsome young man. Listen, and I found peaceful and full dill-I-urn, found peaceful and full dill-I-ay. I found peaceful and he got my ding-durum, mates when you're young, never wed an old man. That doesn't make it clear, ladies. You're on your own. Okay, do a song this time. This song I've been threatening to learn it for years, and I have it half learned, so it was pushed onto me by the great Noel Stinson, and one of the great songs. This one was written about Fergal O'Hanlon. He was one of the guys that died along with Sean Stout in 1957, and it's called The Patriot Game, written by Dominic Behan, and I have to glance at the words occasionally, so this one is especially for you, Noel. I hope you enjoy it. Come all ye young rebels, and list while I sing, for the love of one's country is a terrible thing. It's too high, I should go down one. I think I must have wrote down the wrong key. Sorry for this note, we'll start again. There's no point in screaming. Come all the young rebels, and list while I sing, for the love of one's country is a terrible thing. It banishes fear with the speed of a flame, and makes us all part of the Patriot Game. Oh, my name is O'Hanlon, and I've just turned 16. My home is in Monaghan, it's where I was weaned. I learned all my life cruel England to blame, and so I'm a part of the Patriot Game. It's nearly 2 years since I wandered away, but the local battalion was a bold IRA. I've read of our heroes, and I wanted the same, to play out my part in the Patriot Game. They told me how Connolly was shot in his chair, his wounds from the battle all bleeding and bare, his fine body twisted, all battered and lame. They soon made me part of the Patriot Game. This Ireland of ours has for long been half free. 6 counties are under John Bull's tyranny, so I gave up my boyhood to drill and to train, to play my own part in the Patriot Game. the same for those quislings who sold out the Patriot Game. So you know, hope you like that one. It's one I must brush up on and make it part of my repertoire. Why have I so many banjos tonight, folks? Now's your time to tune out if you're allergic to banjos. As people say, what's worse than a banjo? 2 banjos. What's worse than 2 banjos? 3 banjos. What's worse than 3 banjos, Kathleen? 4 banjos.
I think I'm looking at 5 of them.
There's another one out of sight. I'll show it to you in a minute. Alan Jones from England. He said, I can see 3 banjos. Kathleen, I think you messaged them back and said the 4th one is on its way and there's a 5th one on the couch. And some of us musicians, we just get hooked on collecting instruments, and you say, if I play all of them, you'll probably say, what's the difference? I can't hear any difference in the sound at all. But sure, what can we do? We're doing no harm to anyone, as they say. Now, next one I dedicate to Carmel Smith. She tunes in every single week, and Carmel's in Dublin, and or at least she should be in Dublin. Are you in Dublin, Carmel? You're not being bold and breaking the law or anything, yeah? She loves music and loves dancing, I know that. And if there's no one to waltz with Carmel, she just waltzes with herself or with the chair or the broom or whatever is around. The Carmel. This one is it's a song you all know, folks. So let's sing it together. It's called the Black Velvet Band, and it's made popular by the version I'm doing was made popular by the great Luke Kelly. Many more versions. I think he deserves most of a night of his own for sure. In a neat little town they call Belfast, apprentice to trade I was bound, and many the hours sweet happiness have I spent in that neat little town, till the sudden misfortune came over me, caused me to stray from the land, far away from my friends and relations, to follow the Black Velvet Band. Everybody sing. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Well, I took a stroll down Broadway, meaning not long for despair. Who should I meet with this pretty fair maid come traipsing along the highway? She was both fair and handsome, her neck it was just like a swan, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Here we go again. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Well, I took a stroll with this pretty fair maid, and the gentleman passing us by, well, I knew that she meant the doing of him by the look in her roguish black eye. Then the gold watch she took from his pocket, and she placed it right into my hand. The very next thing that I said was, bad cess to the Black Velvet Band. Here we go again. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, next morning we had to appear. The judge, he says to me, young man, your case, it is proven clear. We'll give you 7 years penal servitude, to be spent far away from the land, far away from your friends and relations, betrayed by the Black Velvet Band. band. So come all you jolly young fellows, and a warning take by me. When you are out in the town, me boys, beware of them pretty colleens, for they'll feed you whiskey and porter until you're unable to stand. And the very next thing that you'll know is you've landed in Bandyman's land. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Let's go again. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Thank you. That's also especially for John Flanagan, Jane Elworthy, and also to Louise and Ed in Victoria, Vancouver Island. And John and me, we've one thing in common: the same grandfather shirt. Isn't that right, John? I'm wearing mine tonight. Hope you're wearing yours as well. And we're brothers in shirts, as I say. Thank you, folks. As I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, that we're going to dedicate a lot of this evening to Luke Kelly and the great balladeer, and also to I'm just thinking that, you know, as the weeks progress, I said years, I shouldn't say something like that. As the days and weeks progress, we might do a tribute to maybe someone like Christy Moore another week, and Tommy Macon and the Clancy Brothers another week, that kind of stuff. Pete Seeger another week. But the bones of the repertoire, or the bones of the set list, with songs from those particular artists. And this particular song was written about Luke Kelly, called the Dublin Minstrel. I know my sister Anne likes this one, and it's a great song, a very great ballad written. You could imagine Luke himself singing the song, I think, called the Dublin Minstrel, and all about the great Luke Kelly, the red-haired minstrel boy. From Dublin streets and roads, all through the years, came great musicians and balladeers, but there's a special one, a red-haired minstrel boy, and when he passed away, the city mourned his favourite son. All around the markets and down the quays, the sad news spread to the liberties. Our minstrel boy is gone, he'll sing no more. Now Luke, somehow we know we'll never see your lights again. He liked to walk and sing, he loved the jar, his songs rang out in many city bars. He walks by the old canal, near where he used to live. Down Raglan Road I'm sad, as he'd so much left to give. All around the markets and down the quays, the sad news spread through the liberties. Our minstrel boy he'll sing no more. Now Luke, somehow we know we'll never see your likes again. Now the show is over, the curtain's down, the flame no longer burns in old Dublin town. And while the Liffey flows beneath the halfpenny bridge, you'll be remembered, Luke, for all you've done and all you said, all round the markets and down the quays. The sad news spread through the liberties. Our minstrel boy is gone, he'll sing no more. Now Luke, somehow we know we'll never see your likes again. Now Luke, somehow we know we'll never see your likes again. Thank you. We'll never see the likes of Luke Kelly again, of course we won't. He was one of a kind for sure. It was great to see younger folks keeping the flame alive, especially mentioned there to Chris Kavanagh from Dublin himself. He does a great Luke Kelly tribute show, and I know he involves other Luke Kelly disciples like myself, and he from time to time has members of the Dubliners and the Kelly family accompany him. And also James Galleher, a big shout out to James. James based in Galway, and he's a young guy. He's getting older like myself, but I think he's gone beyond the 30 mark, but he's a great connoisseur of the long neck banjo as well, and does a lot of Luke Kelly stuff. And none of those two guys claim they are Luke Kelly, or that they're paying homage to one of the, I suppose, the greatest, as I said, balladeers, folk singers to come out of Ireland, if not the world. And well ahead of his time, and very progressive and innovative, and a stunning singer in all aspects. His diction, his breath control, we all try to learn from him. So it's great that these folks are keeping the flame alive. And just to mention, I better play some of these different banjos here as I travel through the songs. And that was the Dublin Minstrel. Yeah, the next one is on a banjo as well. But Luke had a couple of long neck banjos. I was privileged to have met Luke once in my life back in 1981, and Kathleen met him separately in, I think, 82 or 3. Yeah. I didn't go up to the stage where he was playing in the Rose of Tralee, of all places, in an outdoor concert. Kathleen went up and she had a chat with him, and so it's great that we got to meet him. He also let me play his banjo in the Opera House in Cork, and he started out with a Merlin banjo. I'll play this in a minute. I'm not a particular fan of the way it plays. I like the way it sounds. My fingers are probably a little too big for the fretboard, and but nonetheless, it's nice to have one in his memory. And to my knowledge, the one he had was given to him by Tommy Macon for free, because Tommy was asked to be an endorser of the Merlin banjo when the Clancys were massive in the States in the 1960s, and he didn't play for long. He went back to his trusty Vega, and Luke's banjo, pretty much the Merlin, it's all aluminium. Just if I'll give you one quick look at it, it's all aluminium and different synthetic materials, apart from the fingerboard, and the headstock is ebony, and great idea for sure. It's a cool looking banjo. It's a Back to the Future banjo, but it looks more or less fell apart, and he eventually got a Vega Cedar He told me his sister picked it up from the United States around 1980, and I got to play that banjo, so I treasure that moment forever. Okay, enough about that for another bit. What will I play next? I play this beautiful wildwood banjo I picked up with a tubaphone tone ring for those banjo connoisseurs. We'll do a special banjo maybe stream away from the Saturdays sometime, and we can discuss banjos more, but folks out there probably won't hear the difference in the sounds, but maybe they will, I'm not sure. This one is called The Rising of the Moon, and I forgot to mention there the Patriot Game was covered by the Kingston Trio in the United States, would you believe? And The Rising of the Moon, I think, was covered by Peter, Paul and Mary, I think. The 1798 Rebellion, of course, and let's all sing it together. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush a vocal, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon, for the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, for the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be, by the low spot by the river, right when Dunty when me, one word more for signal token, whistle out the marching tune, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be, by the low spot by the river, right when Dunty when me, one word more for signal token, whistle out the marching tune, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, with your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. Out of many the mud wall cabin eyes were watching through the night, many a manly heart was beating by the blessed morning light. Murmurs rang along the valley like the banshee's lonely croon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. All along that singing river, the dark mass of men were seen, high above their shining weapons hung their own beloved green. Death to every foe and traitor, whistle out the marching tune, and to Rami boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon, and to Rami boys for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. Well, we fought for dear old Ireland, and full bitter was our fate. Oh, what glorious pride and sorrow fills the name of 98. Yet thank God with hearts are beating now in manhood's lonely noon, we'll follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, we'll follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, we'll follow in their footsteps at the rising of the moon. Thank you, folks. 2014, I think I did a Luke Kelly tribute show and took it around parts of the country, you know, off the coast onto Whiddy Island even, and but we had a great time singing Luke's songs, and are the songs he made famous for sure, in his memory, and I have a good repertoire of Luke's songs. I'm not going to sing all Luke's songs tonight, but most of them are going to be Luke's, and he brought us songs from everywhere, and this one I actually learned from Pete Seeger. It's been documented that he learned this from Pete Seeger, and it was a song that was written by the some German folks that were captured in the Nazi concentration camps in the Second World War, and it's called the Peat Bog Soldiers, and it was kind of a protest song that they wrote, and this one is one that Luke brought to my ears first, and then when I found that he got it from Pete Seeger, that made me good as well, because I am a big fan of Pete's, and Pete of course invented the long neck banjo, for those of you who want to add the 3 frets up here. Far and wide as the eye can wander, Peat and Bob are everywhere. Not a bird sings out to greet us, oaks are standing gaunt and bare. We are the Peat Bog Soldiers, marching with our spades to the moon. Up and down the guards are marching, no one can get through. Fight would be a sure death, facing guns and barbed wire, return. We are the Peat Bog Soldiers, marching with our spades to the moon. But for us there is no complaining, winter will in time be past. One day we will cry rejoicing, homeland dear, you're mine at last. Then will the Peat Bog Soldiers march no more with their spades to the moon. Then will the Peat Bog Soldiers march no more with their spades to the moon. Not a night goes by when I sing something from Pete Seeger, and that one goes out to and Luke, of course, goes out to Virginia Tiger out there in the west coast of the United States. Virginia, hope you're doing good, and if you're looking in, hello to you. Conrad, her Irish friend who put me in touch with Virginia, thank you Conrad, hope you're doing good back there in Kelleher, County Kerry. He's a Kerry man, we won't hold that against him. I'm going to sing you a song about Kerry man in a minute, so that I wrote myself. Okay, what am I going to do next? Farewell to Carlingford. Okay, I'll try it on the Merlin. This could backfire on lads and lassies, but we'll try it. We'll try anything once with this. Let me keep. Oh, let's see here. And Of course, out of Ireland came great folk singers and folk musicians in the 1960s, and amongst them, of course, was Tommy Makem and the Clancy brothers. Tommy was a big fan I was a big fan of Tommy's, and he ended up being a friend of mine. And I'll show it to you some other night. I got there was a Tommy Makem International Festival of Song in Armagh, and I was delighted to have got an accolade for keeping the folk music alive in Tommy's name before he passed, and or was it after? I'm not sure. Fishing cap was a bit dodgy, and just tuning up out again. I didn't play this thing, guys, for a long time, but we'll have to play it. Now when I was young and in my prime, and could wander wild and free, there was always a longing in my mind to follow the call of the sea. So I sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Greenoa, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. On all of the stormy seven seas I have sailed before the mast, but on every voyage that ever I made, I swore it would be my last. So I sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Greenoa, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Now I had a girl called Mary Boyle, she lived in Reno, and the foremost thought that was in her mind was to see me safe on the shore. So I sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Greenoa, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Now the landsman's life is all his own. He can go or he can stay. Ah, but when the sea gets in your blood and she calls, you must obey. So I sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Greenoa, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Let's go again. So I sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Greenoa, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Thanks, folks. Written by Tommy Makem, and hello to all the Makems in the world, especially up there in Armagh and over in New Hampshire and surrounding areas of the United States. And as I said, Tommy wrote many great songs. We might dedicate one of the evenings to Tommy's songs and singing, and that was a song that Tommy wrote that Luke recorded, Farewell to Carlingford, and we've been there, Carlingford, myself and Kathleen, courtesy of Jerry and Mary Makem up there in Derrynoose, and the lovely daughters Louise and Caroline. the crew up there, all the Macons. Thank you so much, folks. Okay, the next song is a song I rarely do in public, and Luke didn't do it too much either, and it's not because he didn't do it that I didn't do it, if you can get me. And it's a very, very sensitive song written by Phil Coulter about his son, and it's a song I like to do as much justice to it as I can. And it's it's about his autistic child, which the child eventually passed away. But this is synonymous with the singing of Luke Kelly, and I suppose, like most folk songs should be kept alive. But this one is one of the ones that I must try and do my best to give it my best and do it justice. See the child with the golden hair, with eyes that show the emptiness inside. Do we know? Can we understand just how he feels, or have we really tried? See him now as he stands alone and watches children play a children's game. Simple child, he looks almost like the others, yet they know he's not the same. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no. See him stare, not recognizing the kind face that only yesterday he loved. The loving face of a mother who can't understand what she's been guilty of. How she cried tears of happiness the day the doctor told her it's a boy. Now she cries tears of helplessness and thinks of all the things he can't enjoy. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no. Only he knows how to face the future, hopefully surrounded by despair. He won't ask for your pity or your sympathy, but surely you should care. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no, oh no. folks. Thank you. A sad song, but nonetheless a great song, and you know, people often ask me to sing that in pubs, noisy pubs. Not a great place to be singing a song like that, but if someone is they're not that intoxicated and they're genuine about it, I will pull out the stops and try and achieve silence. Okay, we'll liven it up a bit by singing the next one. This one is called Dirty Old Town, and send this one out to the Roebucks in Salford and all our friends in UK, including Alan Jones, Joe McElviny, Eddie Colburn, and Don Louise, and all the folks over there. Sheila and Sam Kemp, Jeremy or Jerome, I keep on getting mixed up. Jerome, is it? This is about Salford, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, written by Ewan MacColl back in I think the 30s or the 40s. It's a love song about a place, and it's called Dirty Old Town, Salford, just adjoining Manchester. And Mr. Roebuck took me to see it, where all the gas works and the gas crofts were in Salford. I'm not sure whether they're keeping it like that on purpose or not, but it was pretty dirty looking when we got there, for sure. Admittedly it was raining, but things don't seem to have changed too much. Okay, let's hear you sing this one. I met my love by the gasworks road, dreamed a dream by the old canal, kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town, dirty old town. I heard a siren from the docks, saw a train set the night on fire, smelt the spring on the Salford wind. Dirty old town, dirty old town, dirty old town. Clouds are drifting across the blue, hats are prowling on their beat. Springs a girl from the streets at night. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I'm going to make me a big sharp eyes, shining steel, tempered in the fire. I chop you down like an old dead tree. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Let's hear you sing. I met my love by the gasworks road, dreamed a dream by the old canal. I kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town, dirty old town, dirty old town. That also goes out to our friends in Eagle Music in Huddersfield, and all the Eagle Music shop is one of the nicest shops in Europe for shopping for instruments, and bought a beautiful guitar there myself a couple of years ago, and over there every year for the last 6 or 7 years to a banjo event for all you banjo enthusiasts out there. And Deering banjos are there in their full power with Janet and Jamie and Greg Deering. They're based in San Diego, and they own the Vega name these days, and they make their own beautiful banjos. This is a Deering banjo, one of a kind, custom long neck. This is their long neck Vega version of what used to be the Pete Seeger in the old Boston Vega days. This is their modern day long neck, and have to be careful to say it's not that the old one is not an original, because this is an original Vega, because it's made by folks who own Vega now. Just as I'm on the subject of banjos, this is the banjo you haven't seen yet, and this one is an electric banjo. This is very rare as well. I was talking to Greg Deering. I think there might be a handful in the world of long neck, and for any of you long neckers out there, folks, it's the nicest neck I've ever played on a long neck banjo. The actual feel and the profile and the action, and I'll plug it in one of these days when I start to lose my hearing, when I get even older than what I am. I can plug it in and turn it up, and I might get a job in a Mumford & Sons type band or something and rock it out. And so this thing sounds very, you'll hear it, you can hardly hear it. Plug it in, you'll hear it for sure. So this is the one I play at home, and Kathleen wants to keep the noise down. It's naturally muted, and thank you. Where was I? The next song I'm going to do is The Last Island Man, a song that was written by myself, and this was written over in Sheila and Sam's place in Rugby, was it? The bones of it.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary about this guy on YouTube, or sorry, on TG Car, I think. I saw it on the television, and eventually picked up on YouTube, and I was intrigued by this guy. His name is Michael Carney. He was reputed to be one of the last to immigrate from the island, Great Blasket Island, off the Kerry coast, off the Dingle Peninsula. And if you go to the Great Blasket Centre, there's a part of the building dedicated to him. And he was a native Irish speaker. Left his I'll be as short as I can. Left his native island on his father's advice, and went to Dublin initially, and eventually immigrated to America with his sweetheart, where they raised a family in Springfield, Massachusetts. And they've given him the song their blessing, and he died at the age of 93 or 4, I think.
90.
He made it back to Ireland several times, but he made it back at the age of 92 or 3, and that's what the documentary was about. Born in 1920, a mile out from the shore, on the Great Blasket Island, he was Irish to the core, fluent in his native tongue, but no future for him there. His father gave him 5 shillings when he 16 fair. He's the last island's man, and his heart it lives there yet. Thoughts that linger in his mind, a place he never will forget. He left his native island for Dublin city bound, where he met his Maureen at a dance, his future wife he found. He learned to speak in English there, for 11 years did stay, when he and Maureen sailed away to Farewell. He's the last island's man, and his heart it lives there yet. Thoughts that linger in his mind, a place he never will forget. They were married 2 years later, and raised 4 children well. From working hard in different jobs, in Springfield chose to dwell. Over 90 years have passed, and his heart now it still lies in the island that he wants to see once more before he dies. He's the last island man, and his heart it lives there yet. Thoughts that linger in his mind, a place he never will forget. He makes that journey home once more at the age of 92, to recall all those memories and the people that he knew. His name is Michael Carney, and from where his life began, he left us his great story. He's the last island man. He's the last island man, and his heart it lives there yet. Thoughts that linger in his mind, a place he never will forget. He's the last island man, and his heart it lives there yet. Thoughts that linger in his mind, a place he never will forget. Thank you. John Murphy asked me about that song as well. John is a great songwriter himself from Cork City, and a member of the Cork Singers Club, and a fantastic man with words, and I'm not sure it's my imagination or not, but every song I hear him writing, he seems to be getting better and better. John, well done. I wish I had your talent to write such great lyrics, not sing so easily, but some great lyrics and great local Cork lingo in his songs. So John, thank you for asking for that song. It means a lot to me. And also dedicated to John Collins and his family back there in Tralee, and Conrad, of course, in Killargan. Anyone listening from Kerry, including all in Kinmare. And that's a song about Michael Carney. Would pay you, if it's still in your mind after the show, to just give a quick sconce. It's about a 6-minute documentary on YouTube, and just look up The Last Island Man. And if you want to elaborate on that, Great Basket Island or Michael Carney, and you'll find it very quickly. Very poignant piece of film for sure, and that's what kind of inspired me to write the song. So I hope you enjoy that, folks. Thank you. Okay, next one I'm going to dedicate to Pam and Dave over there in Ballincollig, and their friends Tina and Steve Merrick. And this whole song I used to do many years ago. My friend Brian Roebuck in particular recorded it back in 1993, as a matter of fact. And it's a great old song called Paddy on the Railway that Luke brought to our ears. It's an F actually. So I'll do this one for Pam, and you can. It starts out slow and the chorus speeds up and some of the verses speed up. So if you feel like dancing around the kitchen, you can close the curtains in case anyone's looking in and think you've gone mad. In 1841, me corduroy breeches I put on. Me corduroy breeches I put on to work upon the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. true. Got myself a job to do, got myself a job to do, working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big breeches, bottom stretches, dodging the hitches. I was working on the railway in 1843. Rugby shovel across my knee, went with the local company in the Leeds and Selby Railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big breeches, bottom stretches, dodging the hitches. I was working on the railway in 1844. We landed on the Liverpool shore. Our bellies were empty, our hands were raw from working on the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. In 1845, and Ben O'Connell, he was alive. Ben O'Connell, he was alive, working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big breeches, bottom stretches, dodging the hitches. I was working on the railway in 1846. Changed me job from carrying bricks, changed me job from carrying bricks to working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big breeches, bottom stretches, dodging the hitches. I was working on the railway in 1947. Poor Paddy was thinking of going to heaven. Poor Paddy was thinking of going to heaven to work upon the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big breeches, bottom stretches, dodging the hitches. I was working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big breeches, bottom stretches, dodging the hitches. I was working on the railway. Not forgetting Angela Russell over there in the UK as well. If I leave people out, I don't mean to do it, folks. You're all included in my best wishes to you. And speaking of best wishes, the next one is for Joan Coney, who's a great friend of ours for many years. And she loves the song. We were in America in 2018, and Joan Coney and her husband Jerry joined us, and just began to sing this song around that time. And I think Tom and Gail Watts will remember me trying to get this one across to our folks down in North Carolina, and they were very receptive. And they got the gist of the song straight away. And Tom and Gail, 53 years married last Thursday, Kathleen, is it?
Yeah,
So
I think it was Thursday.
happy anniversary to you both, folks, 53 years, and they're great musicians and great supporters of music. Anyway, make a long story short, it's about a lady from Galway who's been happily married for 20 years. She's madly in love with Elvis, like most of us, and she wants to get over to see him in Memphis, Tennessee. He's already dead at this stage, but she's going to go regardless, and she leaves her husband of 20 years. In the middle of the night, she sneaks out the door and finds her way to an airport and onwards to Memphis, Tennessee, where the song tells the rest of the story. So happy birthday, Joan. We had a great birthday. Is it today, Kathleen, or?
No, last Thursday.
Last Thursday. I should know that. It's even written down here. And brought over years by Sean Keane, of course, and written by the great Richard Thompson. She dressed in the dark, and she whispered was pretty in pink, like a young girl again. 20 years married, but she never thought twice. She sneaked out the door and walked into the night. Silver wings carried her over the sea, the west coast of Ireland to West Tennessee, to be with her sweetheart. She had left everything, from Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. From Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. She was humming Suspicion. It's the song she liked best. She had Elvis, I love you tattooed on her breast. When they landed in Memphis, but her heart beat so fast. She had dreamed for so long, now she'd see him at last. She was down by his graveside day after day. Come closing time, they would pull her away to be with her sweetheart. She left everything, from Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. From Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. Oh, they came in their thousands, from the whole human race, to pay their respects at his last resting place. Ah, but blindly she knelt there. She told him her dreams, and she thought that he answered, for that's how it seemed. He dragged her away, it was handcuffs this time. She said, my good man, are you out of your mind? Be with her sweetheart. She had left everything, from Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. From Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. I've come from Galway to Graceland, to be with the King. Thank you, folks. Happy birthday to you, John. What's the name? Bridie and Sean McDade out there in Calgary, in Western Canada. Hello to you. I know you look in a lot. Barry Andrews, Michelle, Anne-Marie and Darcy. And Martina Healy Cummins, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Martina. Kathleen's best friend. Kathleen was her bridesmaid. She was one of Kathleen's bridesmaids. So happy birthday to you, Martina. And some folks are still private messaging me about my virtual tip jar. As I said before, no obligation, but if you'd like to contribute. Some folks have already. Thank you very much for that. It's PayPal me at, I think, Pat Kelleher Music. It's either Pat or Patrick Kelleher Music, and I can put it up after if you're interested in. I'm delighted to be singing for you folks. admittedly, I'd be down about 100 gigs this year. It's Kenmare. I'm looking forward to coming back there whenever they open up again, and that's kind of the season for me. But in the meantime, I love singing for you folks, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to keep my voice in order and keep learning new songs. I have a couple of new songs almost learned. I'm going to play them probably in the next couple of weeks for you folks. Ones you won't have heard me singing before because I never sang them before. And they're two lovely songs, and there's stories behind them, not just the lyrics, but how the songs came about, or my connections to the songs, I suppose I should say. Anyway, here's another one, a song that Luke brought over years. And as we all know, Northern Ireland had its own share of troubles, for 30 or more years. This one's called Free the People, and I hope you like it. Okay folks, back to the guitar for the next one. There's all live streaming going on, folks, so please support other performers as well. And my friends, the Kruger brothers, are back in action again this evening at 7 o'clock Eastern US time, which is midnight Irish time. If you feel like tuning in, and they did a beautiful show last evening, and tonight's one is pre-recorded to my knowledge. And also my friend Seamus Kennedy, he's doing a show this evening as well around midnight, I think. Seamus Kennedy is originally from County Antrim and been living in America for a long time, and a good friend of mine, and a great singer and writer of songs, and comedian at times as well. But he knows the difference between serious songs and comical songs for sure, because he's been posting songs over the last week or so there, and some really nice serious songs as well, and a great singer of those. And Jimmy Farrell as well is another guy from near Bethlehem in Pennsylvania, and he's doing at least a weekly live stream as well. Jimmy Farrell, And Jim Larkin, if you're listening out there, hello Jim, and all the folks up there in Massachusetts. All our friends in Massachusetts, of course, including the Kennedys, the Zajacs, Eddie Dillon. And okay, the next one is for Gerard Cronin, and he's missing his partner a lot because they haven't seen each other since the beginning of this COVID business. Claire, she's in Dublin, and he can't wait to get to see her in July. So Gerard, thanks for looking in, and Claire, I can appreciate how difficult that is in these times, and you've been so patient up to now, so hopefully everything will go according to plan with the lockdowns and the phases, and that you'll get there. Now, I consider myself a pretty versatile performer, and you see I sang most of the set this evening is Luke Kelly. The next one, you won't guess who the next one is from. Garth Brooks, If Tomorrow Never Comes, and I gave Garrod a list of my songs earlier, and this is the one he chose, and Garth Brooks has been a big hit in Ireland, especially maybe 20 years ago or so, and rightly so, great singer and songwriter. Okay. Sometimes late at night I lie awake and watch her sleeping. She's lost in peaceful dreams, so I turn out the lights and lay there in the dark. And the thought crosses my mind, if I never wake up in the morning, would she ever doubt the way I feel about her in my heart? 'Cause if tomorrow never comes, would she know how much I loved her? Did I try in every way to show her every day that she's my only one? But if my time on earth were true, she must face this world without me. Is the love I gave her in the past gonna be enough to last if tomorrow never comes? 'Cause I've lost loved ones in my life who never knew how much I loved them. How I live with the regret that my true feelings for them never worry me. I made a promise to myself to say each day how much she means to me, and avoid that circumstance where there's no second chance. Tell her how I feel. 'Cause if tomorrow never comes, would she know how much I loved her? Did I try in every way to show her every day that she's my only one? What if my time on earth were true? She must face this world without me. It's the love I gave her in the past gonna be enough to last if tomorrow never comes? So they'll you're thinking of, tomorrow never comes. Nice song, appropriate song, and of course tomorrow's going to come. But as the song suggests, make your feelings known, and the ones you love, don't be afraid to tell them that you love them. And as we're on the subject, folks, love you all out there. And Kathleen, you second that, I think.
Of course.
Tell everyone you love them, Kathleen.
I love them all as well.
She's too shy to come in front of the camera. We'll get her there eventually, folks.
There's not much room for me tonight.
Don't be looking for excuses.
The benches.
I told you there's room for you between my banjos, Kathleen. Thank you very much. That's for you, Garrod and Claire, and hopefully you'll see each other sooner rather than later. And keep the faith, as they say, and good times will come again. Thank you, folks. This one was requested as well, called Schooldays Over, and written by Ewan McCall, and brought to our ears once again by Luke Kelly. And it's about the mining industry in Wales. If there's anyone watching from Wales, folks, hello to all you folks in Wales, Scotland, and all those parts of the country. And this one tells its own story, but if you didn't inherit some other kind of business in Wales, up to not that too recently, you were automatically expected to go and work in the mines in Wales. Mining was a big industry, coal mining. In the valleys. Schooldays over, come on then, John. Time to be getting your big boots on. On way to sark and moleskin trousers, it's time you were on your way. Time you were learning the pitman's job and learning the pitman's way. Come on then, Jim, it's time to go. Time you were working down below. The morning mist is on the valley, it's time you were on your way. Time you were learning the collier's job and earning the collier's pay. School days over, come on then, John. Time to be getting your bit boots on. On wages sark and moleskin trousers, it's time you were on your way. Time you were learning the pitman's job and earning the pitman's pay. Come on and die, it's almost light. Time you were off to the countryside. Time to be handling the pick and shovel. You start at the pits today. Time you were learning the miner's job and earning the miner's pay. School days over, come on then, John. Time to be getting your pit boots on. On way to sark and moleskin trousers, it's time you were on your way. Time you were learning the pitman's job and earning the pitman's pay. your sark and moleskin trousers, it's time you were on your way. Time you were learning the pitman's job and learning the pitman's way. Schooldays over. Thank you, folks. Are we doing in time? My watch, 10 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're nearly finished, folks, just in case you're losing interest or getting bored of me. Hope you enjoyed the sets this evening. And we'll do a couple more with the banjo, and then we'll do our routine anthem. And hello to David Sheehan out there as well, in Kildare, and all the family. Him and my daughter and her partner Kevin, and also to my own family, siblings, Joan and Andrew, family, Eileen and Martin and family, extended family. Eileen is not my sibling, which is Kathleen's sibling, and Dennis and Catherine, Johnny and Anne, and my brother Tim, of course. And I hope you're all doing okay in these unprecedented times. This is an anti-war song, it's kind of a funny look at a serious situation, and it's written really about the Cold War back in the reign of people like Brezhnev and Nixon and Castro, and written by Enoch Kent. And that time, as most people knew, there was supposed to be a suitcase that the President of the United States took around with him, and a button in the suitcase, and if he hit the button on purpose or by accident, it could blow the world to pieces. And it's I suppose an anti-war, anti-nuclear song. All about this guy looking after the box, called a button pusher. Try and listen to the lyrics, and very well written to my reckoning. And the last verse, he says he's going to donate his thumb. In other words, he's not going to use it to push that button. And good line. Well, I am the man, the well-fed man in charge of the terrible law. The most pleasing thing about it, it's almost a permanent job. When the autumn war is over and the world is split in three, the consolation I've got, it's a bit too low. Sorry, folks. It even says it here on the it should be in C. It says it on the banjo, on the list, but I didn't pay attention. Start it again. Well, I am the man, a well-fed man in charge of the terrible law. The most pleasing thing about it, it's almost a permanent job. When the autumn war is over and the world is split in three, a consolation I got. Well, maybe it's not, there'll be nobody left with me. Well, I sit at my desk in Washington, in charge of this great machine, more vicious than Adolf Hitler, more deadly than strychnine. And in the evening after retiring day, just to give myself a laugh, I hit the button, a playful belt, and I listened for the blast. Well, I am the man, the well-fed man, in charge of the terrible mob. The most pleasing thing about it, it's almost a permanent job. When the autumn war is over and the world is split in three, a consolation I got. Well, maybe it's not, there'll be nobody left with me. And if Brezhnev starts his nonsense and makes a nasty smile, with a wink and a nod from Nixon, I'll blast you all to hell. And as for that fella Castro, him with the sugar cane, he needn't hide behind his whiskers, I'll get him just the same. Well, I am the man, a well-fed man in charge of the terrible mob. consolation I got. Well, maybe it's not there be nobody left but me. If me wife denies me conjucting her rights, or me breakfast milk is sour, from 8 to 9 in the morning, you're in for a nervous hour. The button being so terribly close, it's really a dreadful joke. A bop at me arse as I'll go past and you'll all go up and smoke. Well, I am the man, a well-fed man in charge of the terrible mob. The most pleasing thing about it, it's almost a permanent job. When the autumn war is over and the world is split in three, a consolation I got. Well, maybe it's not there'll be nobody left but me. Well, I'm thinking of joining the army that bans the bomb. Then I'll make up a large collection and I'll donate me thumb. For without it I am helpless, and that's the way to be. You don't have to kill the whole bloody lot just to make the people free. Well, I am the man, the well-fed man in charge of the terrible law. The most pleasing thing about it, it's almost a permanent job. When the autumn war is over and the world is split in three, a consolation I got. Well, maybe it's not, there'll be nobody left but me. Hopefully not. How would I do without you all? So thanks folks for listening in. Do one or two more, and thanks for listening in. It seems like we'll be back again next week, folks, and thank you folks for listening in. Hope you enjoyed the tribute to Luke Kelly this evening. And this next song was reputedly the last one that he was recorded singing live, and it's called a night visiting song. I know Kathleen likes this one as well, and a big shout out to Kathleen as well for looking after the camera. And there was messages coming in. We'll have a look at them later on before we join the Krugers and Seamus Kennedy's streams. And hope you enjoyed it, folks. Thank you so much for your continuous support and tuning in. We appreciate it a lot. And have a great Sunday and a week to come. And if any requests bring forward next week, send them in as early as you can, because we can't access our phones during the show. And so just to make that clear, really. And so send by private message or publicly on the post you're just watching, please. And thanks. I hope you enjoyed it this evening. This one's called a night visiting song, and I dedicate this to Mike Horn out there in Australia. Great supporter of my music and my banjo playing for many years at this stage. Mike, thanks very much for everything, and hope you're all good out there in Australia. And a big hello to our friends down there, or the Anglin girls from up the road, and my niece Mary, and I keep calling her the girl from working in Kinmare, Kathleen. Brogan. I know her by her pseudonym better. So Brogan, hope you're looking in. I must away now. I can no longer tarry. This morning's tempest I have to cross. I must be guided without a stumble into the arms I love the most. And when he came to his true love's dwelling, he knelt down gently upon a stone, and through her window he whispered lowly, as my true lover within the fold. raised her up, her dancers below. She's raised her up, she's led to men. They were locked in each other's arms until that long night was past and done. And when that long night was past and over, when the small clouds began to grow, he's taken her hand and they've kissed and parted. He saddled and he mounted and away he'd go. I must away now, I can no longer tarry. This morning's tempest I have to cross. I must be guided without a stumble into the arms I love and most. Thank you, folks, and thank you to all the neighbours here in Dripsey, Coacham, and Scarra, Ballincollig. Thank you for your support as well, folks. Without you, I would not be here, so thanks. And see you next week, folks. We will go out with our God's counting on me, God's counting on you. And hopefully everyone pulls through this that we know of, and less casualties the better. When we look and we see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. When we look and we see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. When there's big problems to be solved, let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. When there's big problems to be solved, let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. It's time to turn things around, trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. It's time to turn things around, trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. All together. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. Don't give up, don't give in, working together we all can win. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Now don't give up, don't give in, working together we all can win. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Loud as you can. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. What we can never give up hope. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. And when we sing with younger folks, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. Thanks, folks, and a big hello to everyone out there in nursing homes and hospitals and all the front line workers, firemen, Gardaí and ambulance people, nurses, doctors, all those folks. See you next week, folks. Keep safe in the meantime. Thank you for everything.